Yo, I don't understand technology. All right. So if you were in, well, I mean, you're here now, so you're not in the other chat. Those who are in the other chat, I just posted that for some reason. I don't know how or why, but YouTube just kicked me out. Yes, we are back. We back. And I was like, dang, I was in the middle of, the juicy part. I don't even remember what I was saying. That's crazy. I have no idea. And I hate, one thing about going live, it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens more than I would like. I don't know why it, like, if you notice, I have like part 1, part 2 when I go live, because something always happens to where I get kicked out. Normally it's like my fault. Maybe it's like I get a call, or my Wi-Fi goes out, or my phone dies. But this time, I don't know. YouTube was hating. I'm not really sure. But it looks like people are getting the memo and are back in this thing. All right, perfect. Thank you, Chairman. He caught me up. The homeowner wanted to be responsible. All right, cool. I just want to make sure that I pull it back up over here. And yeah, I hate having part 1 and part 2 lives. It's weird. It just throws stuff off, and then, time. All right, here we are. We good. We're back. So, yes, Chairman reminded me where I left off. So, I would say my freaking period. Okay, so, wasn't responsive, 3 months, hitting him up via text. And yeah, so after that, I was like, you know what? It's other fish to fry. There are other deals to be closed. There are other leads to be focused on. So I let that go. So March, April, May. No, okay, so maybe I think in June is when I thought I called it quits. All right, I'm done. I get it. You don't want me. You ghosted me. You don't want me. And so I think, I don't know what about it, but I like to follow up with leads. Here's the thing, guys. If you have leads, a lot of people feel like after they've done one little go around with their leads, whatever type of marketing strategy you do, all right, cool, that's dead. Let me find some new leads. No. You got to work what you got. You got to comb through that list, recycle that list over and over and over again. So I put him back into the, hit him up later. Hit him up in like 60 days or so. And that's exactly what I did. And I think this time I called him. Oh, another thing, hack, you guys, and I don't think I've ever mentioned this in any one of my videos, but someone I know in real estate told me this like a couple of years ago, that when you call somebody and they don't answer, call them again, like double dial. Because sometimes it could be the case where people's phone is on do not disturb, so the first time it goes straight to voicemail, the second time you call it goes through. Sometimes it could be the case where people don't answer unknown numbers, but when they see you pop up twice, they're like, okay, who is this? What do they want? And they'll, like 8 times out of 10, they'll answer if they're not busy. So I'm an advocate for double dialing. And I will get back on topic because you know how I get. But this is the point I want to make, a bonus little tip or whatever hack. So once you double dial, like I said, for me, like 8 times out of 10, people will answer the second time around if they're not busy. And what I noticed is never any, like, I think people like have this thing in their mind about like homeowners cussing you out and just being so pissed that you're bothering them. And that's not always the case. For my experience, whenever I double dial, is never a like, who is this? What do you want? Like, because like I said, they look at it like, okay, who is this? They might be thinking that, but they'll answer like, hello. And then you start your conversation like you would if they answered on the first try. But double dial. And so, like I said, this never happens, but I want you guys to always think 2 steps ahead of somebody. Always be prepared for like a response. Like always know or anticipate what kind of objections you might get. So my reason for double dialing is because, oh, the first time I called, I didn't leave a voicemail, or I forgot to leave a voicemail, so I was calling again to get the opportunity to do so, just in case you didn't answer. I've never had to use that line because nobody's ever called me and be like, hey, why'd you call me twice? I like answered instead. So yeah, that's just a little nugget. Double dial, and if you come across somebody who's like, who are you, what do you want, why are you calling me like twice in a row, you can say, oh, okay, I didn't get you the first time around, so I would just hope I didn't leave a voicemail because I wasn't able to the first time. So anyways, that's an aside. So I called him again like a couple months later, and I think he answered on the first try, but what he told me, he was like, yeah, you're lucky I answered. Oh, okay, sorry, back up. So whenever I would text him, like after a while of not hitting him up, like I said, I don't assume that somebody keeps our thread and keeps like, oh, this is Dara from months ago when she was texting me about this house. I just start all over. So I even like started like I'm somebody brand new for the first time, never talked to you, don't even know your numbers as far as what you want to sell for. So I was like, hey, so-and-so, hey, Mr. So-and-so, do you still own this house at 123 Main Street? And I said that because I really was genuine, like, did you find somebody else? Is that where you ghosted me? But I was like, hey, do you still own this house at da-da-da? And so he responded to that text. He was like, yes. So I'm like, okay, maybe he doesn't know it's me. He was like, yeah, I still do. And I was like, okay, were you thinking about selling it? Like, starting all over fresh. Like, I never even talked to this man before. Hey, were you thinking about selling it? He was like, yeah, I am. And I was like, when's a good time to get you on the phone to talk about it? So that's, I think, what was the point, and when I was like, all right, let me just leave him alone for some months. So then fast forward to those few months when I called him, he answered, and he was like, yeah, I'm on the beach right now, and you're just lucky I answered because I recognized the area code because he used to live in Georgia. So anyways, I was like, yeah, at this point, I reintroduced myself. Hey, do you remember we talked 2 months ago about your house, you know, what's up, are you still interested in selling it? And he said he was. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I've been busy, XYZ. And he's like, I get so many calls about this property, and I just don't answer anymore. And so that's what was that missing piece. Like, okay, why is the man ghosting me? And that would be why his phone was blowing up, and he's just over it. So yeah, that's what he told me. And again, I kind of wanted to keep that same pace, that same energy that we had on the first call, because I'm like, the way you were acting so finicky, I feel like I would lose you. So let's get right to the point on this call. So if you want to sell again, like if you still want to sell, like we can make that happen. I'll send you another contract, or I'll send you a contract. Make sure like you look at it today and get back with me. And that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. Now, the caveat is that the price that he told me a few months ago, he claimed when we talked again that he was getting offers, and he had an offer for, okay, I'm gonna give you the numbers. I think when I first talked to him, he said 40,000 is what he wanted. I was like, let's do it, not now, but right now. And then when I called him again, I think he said, he was telling me, yeah, I got an offer for 50, and then I got an offer for 52. And I was like, okay, why did you take either of those offers? And that's when he told me, oh, they keep calling me, and I'm just bothered, which really doesn't make sense. So I offered him 45, and he took 45. So, but that's, I don't know, it's just a risk. Like, I could have shot myself in the foot, like, but I also could have called BS, and he didn't really get those offers. So you just gotta know how to finesse sometimes. You just have to know how to read people. And then basically that was me starting the negotiation, because if I said 45 and he did counter at 50 or 52, it would have still been a great doable deal with the profit margin. But 45, and he went with it. I said, all right. And I didn't say that either. I didn't say that over the phone. I let him tell me he got an offer for 50 and 52, and I was like, okay, cool. Well, guess what? I'm gonna send you and I didn't bring up the past. I didn't, oh, remember you said 40? I kind of like started over. Like, I'm telling you, every time I talk to him, I kind of try to start over a little bit. So yeah, 45 is what we contracted it for. And I was nervous only because, like I said, he was so finicky, and I thought he would ghost me. And my contract doesn't have it. And he's real estate savvy. He knows about 1031 exchanges. He owns several properties, and he says he sells like 2 a year just for tax purposes. So I said, I'm gonna keep you in my back pocket, because, and this would have been his second one for the year. So he did tell me the others that he wants to sell next year. So anyway, I was a little nervous because him being real estate savvy, like my contract, whether you know or not, some of you have purchased them or not up to this point, but it doesn't mention earnest money. I don't give earnest money. So that's what it was. You said you had offered 50 and 52. I gave you 45,000, no earnest money, and he went with it. And so when I send the contract, I always say, hey, if you have any questions or concerns, please give me a call, so we can talk about it. And He didn't call me, he didn't have any questions, he just signed it, he like e-signed it, and I was like, oh, I got him now. Like, I was like, I got him, bet, I got him. So back to putting myself on track. We got the who, we got the what, the when, where, right? Atlanta 30314. And then how. I kind of pretty much went over how. It was a direct mail, postcard, phone call, follow up. If you didn't get that already, that is the theme here. Yeah, and just keep to your word. I feel like that was a clean close. I don't think that one we needed to extend at all. And I found a buyer like that. How did I find my buyer? Great question you asked. I knew you were gonna ask that. I found the buyer, I think, on Facebook. I think it was in a Facebook group. I could be so wrong. No, I think I put it on Facebook. And definitely put it on Facebook. Yeah, and the buyer, I had a lot of people who were interested. But because I hadn't gone into the house, I hadn't, nothing about it. I didn't have any pictures. I didn't have anything to show people in my email. So those are the, I'm not gonna call them tire kickers, but those are the people who lost out on that deal, because the guy who ended up closing with it, he either went to go see it that day or didn't need to see it at all. Something about that. And I don't give due diligence with my cash buyers, my end buyers. And he was just that serious. He was the most serious, and he was kind of on me, like, okay, like, are you sure we're closing today? Like, when we closing? Because it was the end of the month, and whether you know or not, attorneys get really slammed during the end of the month. And so they were admittedly like a little slow in communication, especially with him. But because it was me, like, they knew me, they were, you know, keeping me up to date a little bit, I will say, not the best way. So he was like the buyer was like ready. He was so ready. I was like, that's the type of energy I need. Okay. So yeah, so I found him on Facebook, and now we built that relationship to start feeding him more deals. And it's so funny because at the closing table, this is a double close, by the way. I did not mention that. This is a double close because I didn't want nobody to know what was going on. And he asked me at the closing. He was like, "So how much did you get it for?" I was like, "You can find out in a few days when it gets public." Like, I didn't tell him just because. He was like, "I mean, I'm already here." I was like, "Yeah, no worries, but like, if you really want to know, you can check back in a couple of days, and it'll be public." Yeah, so funny thing is, I think he's a real deal cash buyer or whatever, but everybody has their different pockets, their different strategies. I think he was going to wholesale it or try to find a buyer. And I think that's, my mom was saying that's probably why he was pushing us so bad. Like, can we close? Like, hurry up, let's close. Because I feel like he might have had a buyer at a higher price, which is cool. I'm not counting nobody's pockets. You do you, and I got what I got. So yeah, as I mentioned, as I think more people are coming in, I'm just telling the story of how I closed my largest deal. That just so happened to be during the pandemic. And this actual property was featured in 2 other videos. So the one, Spend the Day with Me, the most recent Spend the Day with Me, I think I dropped it in March or so. And so you got to see the actual house. I didn't go in. I even remember putting on my Instagram story. And I was like, would you enter this house for $30,000? Would you enter this house for $40,000? And people were like, yeah, I'm going to the house. But I never went in. I was like, well, you know, that's the beauty of wholesaling, for real. But yeah, so any nuggets, any gems that you got from that, great. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are awesome, especially those who are already subscribed. If you haven't already, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and subscribe to your girl. And we have some time now. I'm proud of myself because, like I said, I can get long-winded. I can get off tangent. Looking at the time, we look like we have enough time for a Q&A to wrap this up by 3 o'clock. So yeah. Let's see what you guys have been saying. Somebody ghosted me. Yep, you ghosted me. Okay, Julianne Bennett said, where do you get people to call? So as far as homeowners or leads, I'm assuming, y'all, this sun is going away. It's crazy. It actually was never here to start with. But from Propstream. So I get my leads from Propstream. And you can too. So yeah, I have an affiliate link to Propstream where you can try it out for free for 7 days. And I personally can't say enough about it, um, because you can get up to 10,000 leads per month. So okay, here's the tea. If you start the free trial, literally, like, even if you don't continue, which I don't know why you wouldn't, even if you don't continue, you can get your 10,000 leads and dip. But yeah, you can get your leads, you can get comps, you can get information about the owner. Not, I don't think they do script tracing as of yet, but now they have like a mobile app. So if you're like driving for dollars, you can like pin the different properties that you saw as you were driving. Yeah, it's awesome, and I think it's a virtual wholesaler's holy grail because you can get properties from all over the country. So propstream.com. Before you go to propstream.com, go to my videos, and that's the only thing about live. Like, I can't put any link that I know of. Yes, I can. Just kidding. Watch out. Yes, I can. Just watch me. I don't even know what it is. I'm gonna just copy and paste that into the browser. Yeah, there you go. So that's how you can start your 7-day Propstream trial. Ooh, this is where I found the lead at. Let's see what other questions we have from all you wonderful people. Something like that because you have a female's voice. On a JV, do you assign the contract to the partner? No. So if you're doing a joint venture with somebody, look, so say you have the contract with the homeowner, you're not assigning it to the partner. The JV partner comes and brings the buyer, and so that contract with the seller is being assigned to the buyer, but you and the JV partner have a separate contract in place that just agrees that you're going to pay them whatever y'all discuss. Yes, Von Dutch says smash the like button. Absolutely, as you should. Thank you. How much was the assignment fee? So it was 30,000 and some change after, because I double closed, so it wasn't a clean assignment. I double closed. Oh, and another thing too, guys. So with my double close, the way I have my contract set up, I learned it. If you haven't seen the video of my very first wholesale deal, please go watch that because I learned from the first deal ever. My first deal ever was a double close, and I thought I was gonna make $10,000 clean and easy on my first deal, but I made like 95 and some change, or 94, because of the double closing fees, closing costs, right? So I quickly learned from my mentor at the time to have my buyers pay for the closing costs on both transactions. Some people give a little kickback, some people don't. This particular situation, he did give kickback about not paying double sets of closing costs, so we just negotiated a little bit, you know, like, all right, I'll cover a little bit, you can cover some too, right? So that's how that went. Was the house vacant or has tenants? So Sydney, yes, I mentioned, and I'm not sure because this is my second video on the live, but I did mention that this was a vacant home. Vacant home that was vacant for like more than 12 years, and absentee owner who was out of state, free and clear. How do we legally close a deal after we have the contract signed and have a buyer lined up? All right, so depending on what state you're in, so Georgia, you have to close with an attorney. Some states you close with a title company. So as long as you have a contract between, you know, all parties involved that's signed by and dated and whatever by all parties involved, you just take those contracts and send them to whatever, whether it's attorney or title company, and then they kind of take it from there. They advise you on, you know, getting the title work done, and then you, obviously the contracts will have a closing date set. They'll let you know whether they can meet that or not. And whatever attorney you go with or title company should be able to help you out with that. That's kind of the extent of my answer. I don't have any legal advice because I'm not an attorney or anything, but like I said, depending on what state you're in, because I know some states, in like Illinois, for example, you know, they switch up the game for wholesalers. So just check the local laws in your state. Oh, was your Airbnb or short-term rental impacted this year? Man, honestly, thank God, no. So I will be honest though, because March was the month where everything got a little shook up. And that's when, that's the only month that I've seen that I saw any kind of like friction. So what happened was like everybody was canceling. I'm talking about bookings for the summer. People was ready to go to Six Flags and all kinds of great stuff in Atlanta. Like future bookings. Cancel, left, right, cancel. And I have a strict cancellation policy, okay? And everyone's like, no, they get you get your refund, you get a refund. And I was like, what about me? So yeah, literally March. And then I don't know what happened with people's mindset, but they were like, you know what, I'm still going. So what happened was, so instead of getting vacationers, because my properties, 90% of them are near Six Flags, which is an attraction, amusement park, which is actually most people don't even come here for Six Flags, but that's the selling point for me when I marketed it. So all those families who were coming, nope, not going to Six Flags. But I got people who were either relocating or were looking, you know, they were coming to Atlanta and they needed a place to stay. So I mean, I was literally blessed to have people. I had a lady who stayed in my one property for the entire summer months. So I know like summer is like the hottest time for Airbnb, but I'm only a year in, so this is my first summer during a pandemic. So I'm just thankful for her and like the other people who I had longer term stays, and that's kind of where I kind of shifted to. I'm like, don't stay for no weekend because you know then what happens the rest of the days. So I had people who were staying, and then I kind of like did direct bookings with them just to help everybody out, like you know save on all them fees that they have on these platforms. So just book directly with me, and it was no worries. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully, somebody who was there for like 4 months, like it could have been like a problem with the property, like she could have got real comfortable, but it was not an issue. I think I might have a video on it. I feel like I remember recording like when I went to go see the house after she left, and it wasn't in horrible condition at all. So thankful for her. And I did have other people who would stay like for a month, and then somebody else could stay for a month, you know. So it was just like we bounced back after March. Run off on the Propstream for okay, wait, hold on. What's the Airbnb? Run off on do you use the machine and Propstream? I just use Propstream. Derek, is 10,000 leads gonna be too much to handle for one person? Potentially, possibly. But definitely you need to up it way more than 1,000. So I don't know, maybe in the middle ground. Find the middle ground between 1 and 10. Because 1,000 is not gonna do anything really. Thank you. So how much was your wholesale fee for this at the end of the day? Christian, I did already answer that. I hope you were tuned in to hear that. And CEO also asked how much was it. Wow, I haven't watched it in a minute. It's beautiful and nothing target me. Oh, thanks, Keith. Julianne, thank you. You guys too, if you want to like do a consultation with me, I do offer those one-on-one services. I also have an online like virtual. Before everything was virtual, I had a virtual coaching program that you all can definitely consider joining. I think I did see someone in here, Leslie, who asked me a question. Yeah, there she goes. Yeah, she is part of my coaching program. So yeah, I will have those links. Matter of fact, I got you on the links. If you want to do one-on-one consultation, these are phone consultations, by the way. And then my coaching program, I'll also need that as well. So let's get some more questions in. Let's see. Okay, Diamond, he asked that question about my coaching program, and so it is like more or less group coaching and not one-on-one. However, we do have a private Facebook group. You do have an initial onboarding call that you have the opportunity to schedule with me. And yeah, in that group, ask questions. I answer it as soon as I can. Like as soon as I see the notification, I can get right to it. If it is something that's a lot to type or whatever, I'll hop on the phone or figure out a way to get that answer to you, or just redirect you to a video in the course if it already covered that topic. Another thing that comes with the course is a contract. So I sell a package of contracts separately. The contract that I actually use, like I mentioned to y'all, that doesn't have earnest money, that asks my buyers to pay the closing costs, all that. I have a package of 5 of those, but that comes in the course. So you can either buy the contract by himself and not do the course, or you can get the course, get the contracts with it. You can do one-on-one and the contracts. Like, you figure it out. I had people who did like multiple, like repeat one-on-one consultations. Like, okay, I show you the way. You get there to this point, and you have more questions. Show you the way. So to each his own. However you want to work with me. Yes, Christina's life. Don't give up. I'm not sure what market you're in. If you can't find a deal, just figure out what it is that you may or may not be doing right, and what you need to change. This is a question about getting ghosted, ghosted and rejected. So again, for my story, you could there's nothing like following up. Even when somebody tells you, okay, so here's a side story. I mentioned I'm looking at multifamily now. I had a seller who, like, I thought we hit it off, all this kind of great stuff. Sent him an offer that I felt like he couldn't refuse. Like, literally just gave him what he asked for. And then he comes around and tells me that he had another person who offered him more money, blah, 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 blah. I gave him creative terms, and he went with a cash offer. That, to me, didn't sound like a real cash offer. But anyway, so that was a rejection, right? However, we're not done. I'm not done with him. Trust me, because I just know what the outcome is going to be from the other offer that he got. So even when you get a no, even when you get a rejection, come back to them a little bit later. You just never know. Need to get more active in the group. Absolutely. Plug in. Somebody, do I work with attorneys? Oh, sorry, I didn't see the other part of your question. Angela. You have sellers who have attorneys who are rewriting your contracts. All I would say is, like, whenever you get it, I don't know what they would be rewriting or what, but whenever you get it back, just read over it yourself. If it's something that you can't understand, then maybe you want to get an attorney of your own to interpret it or advise you on the terms. Like, my contracts, there's no attorney, like no seller. I've had sellers try to play big and be like, oh, I need my attorney to read over it. I don't know why, because it's the most lay person contracts. It's like a page and a half, 2 max, I think. And like my contract with my buyers has a little bit more legal jargon in it, but with sellers, it's the most elementary. Do you want to sell for this price? Are you going to sell on this day? Like, it's really like not much to get involved. So I don't know what all is in yours, but when you get it back, it should hopefully not be any legal jargon that confuses you. But really, all the contract is a piece of paper with words that 2 more people agree on. So anything is really negotiable. Ooh, somebody said I closed 8 deals last month from a listing agent in Philly. Go start relationships with them. Period, CEO. You'll never have to talk to a seller again. I know that's right. Make a relationship with key listing agents. Yes, that's the key right there. Y'all better listen. What's my opinion about obtaining a real estate license? So, Angela, I do have a video on that on my channel. It's like one of my very first videos about why I don't have a license, why I don't think that you should get a license. I'm still more or less under that same of that same opinion. I still don't have my license. I don't really know if I see a benefit. There had been times where, like, I thought about getting a license to practice commercial real estate, but I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, to each his own. There's nothing black and white. That's my favorite answer for anything real estate. There's nothing black and white. To each his own. Everybody's world is different. You know, I know people who started off as realtors, and then became investors, vice versa. I know people who love having the license and invest, and some people who don't. Some people who have their license but don't hang it, so they don't actually like practice. You know, it just depends. Guys, these questions. Getting ghosted sounds like my life. I'm so sorry. If I have any broken links. Oh, that might be why. I don't know. Sydney asked, are there any tutorials for Propstream? I actually have one. There are others. Almost positive. Definitely positive. There are other tutorials on Propstream, but I actually have one on how to go look it up. Go look it. I do have a video on a tutorial video on Propstream. Latrice Dolly says, what is the name of the clothing attorney that I used in my live closing video? So yeah, that actually is pertaining to this deal. Her name is Kim Hughes, and she's in Atlanta. She's near the airport. I close with her quite a bit. Kim Hughes, KG Hughes Law. Supporting my black women, okay? Chris Allen says, I have a lead where the seller inherited a property with a reverse mortgage. What options are there other than short sale or passing on the lead? That is a great question, Chris, and I have no experience with reverse mortgages, so the first thing that would have come to my mind would have been a short sale. So to answer the other part of your question, I'm not sure. I don't know if I would say pass on it. It's just that I personally am not knowledgeable enough to tell you, like, oh, like, this is how you can work your way around it. Sorry. I feel like, I don't know. If I put a link down in there, it's not clickable, so just copy it. Like, highlight, copy, and paste it into your browser. Any plan to do mobile homes? No. So, okay, I will say this. When I first got started, I was like, what do you call it? Like, chasing all the bunnies or something like that. Like, if I met somebody who's like, oh, yeah, I specialize in mobile homes, or I specialize in burnt out homes and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I want to do mobile homes, da, da, da. So there was a time where I did actually go and look into like mobile homes and stuff like that. But the key point that person said when I was talking to them, that I specialize in mobile homes, right? So I was like, I heard that you had success over here, and you have success in storage units, and you had success in whatever, and I was trying to try it all or do it all, and I'm just like, nah, the key is to specialize. So, you know, that's the field for people, that's the area of interest for people, but I don't, you know, nothing against it, I just, you know, don't. So what is your preferred skip tracing program? I use batch skip trace, or batch skip leads, or whatever it's called. Batch. They have like batch leads, batch texting, batch skip tracing, like the whole batch community. So when I was doing SMS marketing, text message marketing, I was using Batch, and they have the skip tracing plugged into that, but they also have it a la carte. So if you don't use them for their text messaging services, you can use them for their skip tracing services. And I'm not sponsored by none of these people I'm giving it. So I do try to tread lightly, but it is what it is. It's use them or don't. There's so many out there. I purchased a package of 5 contracts, sub 2 contracts for sale. I don't, but a lot of people have been asking me for the sub 2 contracts, so I might just throw it in the package. To be honest, I might just throw it in the package. Because in my course, I do show you how to get, work your way around a sub 2 contract. So I might just make it 6 contracts in the package. To be honest, it's not that hard to do. And then Josh, since you already have the 5, I guess I could just let you know about the sub 2, like on its own. Oh, child, what is it? Is that key? I hope I said that right. What's your opinion on using your original phone number to make calls? No, I never have, never plan to. I never have from the jump. I know a guy who uses his personal phone number for like everything. That's cute. That's fine. Teach them. I never have, never plan to. So yeah, there's free. The reason is because there's free sources like Google Voice if you want. Text Now is another free way to get a phone number. And then if you want something a little bit more advanced where you have tracking and stuff like that when making calls, you use CallRail and you can get up to a certain amount of phone numbers. And the good thing about that with your marketing piece is if you have like a certain phone number on just your postcards or a certain number on just your bandit signs, you can track where your leads are coming in from. All right, so here we go. This is the last question I am answering. Do you train others? I do. That is what I mentioned before. I do have a coaching program, and I do also do one-on-one consultations. So the link for those will be, maybe I can pin my own comment. I've left that in the chat here. I'll also put it when this video is uploaded onto my channel. I'll put it in the description and the comments, and it'll be pinned. So if you want to work with me or learn from me, I do train others either via one-on-one consultations on the phone or step-by-step through my wholesaling coaching program. All right, so that's it, guys. I'm wrapping this up, and I thank you guys for tuning in and rock up with me on this Sunday afternoon. I don't know who Von Dutch is, but I rock with you. Period. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys so much. I love you all. If you haven't, I don't know why you're here. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Turn on your post notifications. I will be, I did a poll on what is the best time to go live. I'm not going to commit to like Sundays at 2 because I always let you know in advance if I'm going live. But more videos to come as well. So just stay tuned. Have a great Sunday. Go out there and get you some deals.